Al-Haj Uelwe, thank you so much for welcoming us to this beautiful place, the Bahadur Shah Zafar Mausoleum, the resting place of the last Mughal emperor. Also to have you on our show. Thank you so much for your time. So first of all, may I ask you to introduce yourself, please?
I'm Al-Haj Uelwe. As a profession, I'm an educator. I'm working as a counselor of the diplomatic school. And I am the chief convener of Islamic Center of Myanmar and also a founder and co-member of Religion for Peace Myanmar. And I was in the advisory commission of Rakhine led by late Dr. Kofi Annan.
Can I ask you, what do you find in that participatory work that you are involved in? What has been the most satisfying for you so far?
Well, our country is a pluralistic society where unity and diversity prevails. It still is, and the beauty of the country is welcoming the others. But there are certain elements who are trying to politicize the religion and making things that will damage the image of the country. That is done by a few. We should remember that.
Perhaps we can go straight into talking about people who may have a different agenda.
Definitely. Well, I do not want to sweep dirt under the carpet. There is nothing I need to hide about it. Wall has shrank into a village. It's globalization. Cannot prevent any information from stopping anybody. So what I would like to say is that we have challenges and opportunities. But our country has turned a new page. We are trying to democratize our society, but it is still in the transitional period. So we are exerting our effort in national reconciliation. But there are certain elements who wouldn't like to see that happen for their own vested interests and hidden agendas. These are the people who are instigating using such noble ideals such as nationalism and religion. So I often say that in our country, religion and nationalism has been hijacked. So what we are trying to do is to rescue that.
When you were talking about the interest groups, are there any sort of interest groups that you can identify?
Well, they have political agendas, to be straightforward, in order to obtain this political power. So they are the ones who are trying to instigate the very simple-minded Myanmar people who are very pious.
Can you give me an example of what it is that you've been able to achieve in that direction?
Well, what our Religion for Peace is doing is trying to impart the peace education to these conflict areas, such as Meitila, Myitkyina, even in Rakhine State. So we try to engage with the people who has been affected by those people with the hidden agenda, trying to instigate, and who have become victims to their controversial agendas. But at the same time, we realize that there is a need to do some development project, because poverty is one of the factors that leads to conflict. So in order to find a resolution for conflict and to transform it, so within our limited means, we are also providing some development measures so that their life will improve.
So it actually needs to be a holistic kind of development, isn't it?
Exactly.
Development in the livelihood, alleviation of poverty,
right,
social harmony, religious tolerance, all of that. So to what level do you think you have been successful?
Well, it's an uphill battle. We can't expect miracles to happen. No, there's no quick fix to it. But I think we are gaining ground. We are gaining ground because people begin to realize the religion they cherish has been monopolized and then used in a very, mundane way for attaining this political power. So they do not agree with those people. And these kind of activities have dwindled down to a large scale.
There has been, the bilateral agreement between the two countries. There's the trilateral agreement with the UN for the repatriation.
Well, what has happened in Rakhine saddened all of us, and we are trying to find a way out from this dilemma. But as you know, you can't clap with one hand only. They are instigators from both sides. They don't want any settlement. Our late chairman, Kofi Annan, used to call them as conflict benefiters, war profiteers. So if there is settlement, if there is peace, there won't be any work for them. They'll become jobless. They don't want that. So they are instigating people. So in order to overcome that, what we are doing is we do encourage what our governments are doing. Yes, just as you have mentioned, there are tripartite agreement between our government and UNHCR and UNDP, and Bangladesh also have this tripartite agreement. But at the same time, our two governments have signed MOUs, that is G to G, government to government. We need to assist them in any way we can. But what we are trying to do actually is to engage with the people on the ground, what we call P2P engagement. In order to do that, we have reached an agreement with Bangladesh Relation for Peace. We met in Germany, Lindau, at the 10th General Assembly. So what we have agreed upon is to try and hear the real voices of the people. The victims are sometimes blamed. There's a victim blaming going on for not being able to achieve this solution. But we should understand the ground reality, acknowledge it, and try to implement what is implementable. There is a term in our peace building effort known as low-hanging fruits, things that we can implement easily and which should be prioritized. So we are trying to prioritize the things that we can easily implement, which will win the hearts and mind of the people. In that way, we'll be able to build trust and confidence. That is what we need. If you ask what is the biggest obstacle for the repatriation, it is fear. And that fear is in the mind. So what we need to do is to change the mindset. And we have to acknowledge the ground reality and be just also.
What do you propose can be done to change the mindset?
I have been to Cox's Bazar, but only one time for a short, and I should even say it's a guided tour. And I have been on the our side of the border also. What we are trying to do now is, in coming November, there will be a high-level Muslim-Buddhist summit in Bangladesh. We will be visiting the Cox's Bazar. We want to hear from them what their actual fear is. There are certain things that they do not understand. Some of the messages are, what shall I say, misinterpreted. For example, they feel that if they are repatriated back to their homes, in fact, this is their home, they're going back to their home. What is holding them? They feel that if they return back, all of them, no matter what kind of the documents they have, they all will be giving NVC card. For them, NVC card means documents given to undocumented people, and they would technically become stateless. They are very much afraid of that. They feel that their citizenship will be stripped off. They are people who have documents. So through those documents, they can apply for their citizenship. You need to apply. This is a law of the land.
So what about the sort of news that we've been hearing? They are not coming back because they've been threatened, frightened.
I can't rule out that because I have no way to verify it. At the same time, as a journalist, you will realize you need to verify the source of information. How reliable are they? How worthy are they to consider? But we need to consider it as one of the facts, because I'm beginning to gather facts slowly, and I found out that after sunset in the camps in Bangladesh, there is no security. We don't know what is actually happening then. That's why we are saying we want to go and see there. Seeing is believing. We will meet them, we will try to listen to them, and then find out what actually is happening. So we cannot rule out that there are some elements that are trying to radicalize them, that are trying to intimidate them and trying to threaten them. We cannot rule out, but we need what you call more clearer picture regarding those allegations.
So do you think you will have easy access to these people?
It won't be an easy job, as I've told you, but the first contact will be very crucial, I think, through those contacts, because we won't be talking with the people inside the camp only. We will be talking with the people who will be assisting them. For example, the Religions for Peace chapter of Bangladesh, and there will be other religious leaders that we will be meeting. So through those religious leaders, we will be able to convey the messages, the true and correct messages.
We've been hearing about this cliche win-win situation.
Right.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I mean by those people with hidden agendas who wouldn't like to see any settlement. They'll become jobless. So their instigation, by all means, they will keep on doing that. And we have to be fair in our statement when I say instigator. They are instigator on both sides. On the side of the Myanmar also, there are those who are trying to exploit the situation and try to hostage to those victims to gain their political ground.
So what is your hope for the near future?
It is a man-made disaster and man can solve it, but we will need time. Our only way is to dialogue. Negotiation through peaceful dialogue. We will sit down and we will talk. What we need is to engage with the people on the ground. If we get that access, I think we'll be able to convince them.
So on that note, I would like to end this interview. Thank you very much for your time, for welcoming us to this beautiful mausoleum. Thank you.
I hope I'll be of service to the nation and the people. Thank you very much.